Hello, 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 everyone. Hi, Entreflow. Hello, Helina. We're just waiting a couple of minutes before. Oh, hi, Helina. How are you?
Doing fabulous. Doing.
I'm excited for today.
Likewise, likewise. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you as well. Hello, Melanie. So we're just gonna wait like a couple of minutes so that people can join the live. How's your day been so far?
It's been good. It's been a typical entrepreneur day,
Yeah.
Meetings, kid drops at school, the usual.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a cold one too, eh?
Yeah, but luckily we got the sunshine. I'll take the sun over the rain any day.
Honestly, yeah, for sure. Well, if you're ready, we can get started.
Right.
All right. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Founders Live chat. My name is Barsha. I am the Community and Events Coordinator at Volition. And today we're joined by Helina Patience, who is the CEO of Entreflow Consulting Group. So Entreflow is a boutique consulting firm that specializes in supporting startups and scale-ups that have a big vision. So Helina, thank you so much for jumping on this live today. We're very excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to learning more about you and your company as well.
Thank you so much for having me. Delighted.
Awesome. So just to start off, Helina, like I said, we want to learn more a little bit about you. So what exactly do you do, and what does Entreflow does?
For sure. So again, my name is Helina Patience. I'm a CPA CMA. So I did the CMA designation years ago. And worked as a financial analyst for years before jumping into Entreflow. So I'm the CEO. I work with a lot of clients in the realm of finance, and I also worked in HR for years, which explains why our company is a little bit of an oddball. We actually started off as a marketing consulting firm years ago. We do a little bit of marketing now, but mostly focus on finance and HR consulting. So we, on the finance side, typically work with clients doing their bookkeeping, controllership, and some fractional CFO work. So really helping them to grow in a lovely and controlled manner. And on the HR side, we do recruitment and HR management. So just kind of planning your team, making sure you have the right policies and procedures in place, and supporting to get those team members onboarded, and rocking and rolling. And then finally, we also do a lot of software implementation. So I'm a huge tech nerd. I love technology and I love automation. Mm-hmm. And so we do a lot of software implementations for our clients to help them automate their processes from somebody calls them to, or someone reaches out on the website, all the way through to taking payment and beyond. So we like to automate workflows and make things smooth as better for people.
Awesome. Thank you. So it seems that the work that you do is really focused on helping organizations grow. Now, with your experience, what would you say is the key to successful business growth?
It's a good one. We always talk about this really powerful trifecta of people, processes, and systems. So we see a lot of companies, especially startups, they're rearing to go. They either are delayed growing as fast as they really want to, or they grow really quickly and they don't have control over what's happening in the company. It kind of becomes a beast of its own and they can't control it. And generally speaking, in those two situations, there's an imbalance in the trifecta. So you need to have the right people in place. You need to have the right processes in place so that those people are doing things in a nice, organized manner, in predictable manner. And you need to have the right systems in place. So there's no point doing everything automated. There's no point implementing software and not using it effectively. So when you have those three things in place as your solid foundation, then you've got the right footing to grow from a controlled, less chaotic perspective. All growth is just a little bit chaotic. I'm just not going to paint this impossible picture here, but yeah, there's always a little bit of fun, but it'll help people to grow in a much more sustainable way. So that's our key to success with working with our clients, is yes, you might be coming to us to get some support with a tax return or with your ongoing bookkeeping and some fractional CFO work, but really what we're looking at is making sure we've got that foundation in place first, and then from there we can rock and roll on the next steps on the growth there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, definitely, to have that balance within those three factors is really important. And I think, like with the pandemic, really pushing a lot of people to start their own businesses. Some of them might have entrepreneurial experience, some of them are new to the game. So a lot of them might still be trying to figure out what exactly the key to that successful growth is. So these are factors that they definitely should look into. So again, thank you so much for sharing that. So while I'm already talking about the pandemic, I think it is safe to say that these have been a past couple of years filled with massive change for everyone, whether personally or even professionally.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of lessons learned. So Helena, I would like to know, what has the past year been like for you? Did you have any lessons learned as an entrepreneur, or even like, do you have any tips for fellow entrepreneurs as well?
For sure. Yeah, it's been an incredible year and a half. I always say that as an accountant, being an accountant during a pandemic is like being a first responder, frontline worker for businesses, essentially. So we've been there trying to keep these businesses alive the whole time, helping people to pivot, helping people to make really hard decisions about their team and direction. When we started this business, my partner and I, we really cared about bringing the expertise that exists at the enterprise level to small businesses, so that small businesses don't have to keep reinventing the wheel and learning things that, that we'd already seen happening successfully in enterprise level. And so arming people with the knowledge for them to make better decisions. That really paid off well during the pandemic, because that's exactly what people needed. They needed to know how to pivot, how to make quick decisions, how to be really critical about their business, how to analyze what was happening. Looking at the numbers on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis was what they needed. They couldn't wait for a year to see how their business had done. It wasn't going to fly, right? So our model actually served our clients really well during the pandemic, because we were able to give them the information that they needed to make decisions, because we were already doing real-time work. So that was good. It kind of validated what we were trying to do. They also needed a lot more support than we had labor hours available for. So we had to figure out how to staff our team differently and cost effectively, and still pay people really, really well in an employee market where everyone's wanting more pay than ever before. So getting the right mix of people in the right roles doing the right things was a huge challenge. We in July of last year just scrapped our whole team structure, our org chart, and just started from scratch, and not like fired everyone, but more just restructured how we were going to plan and grow our team so that we could work more effectively. So that was a big learning curve, but really, paid off a lot for us. And, I think from a personal perspective too, what we really learned over the pandemic is that even though we're really good at recommending to our clients to take a really critical look at how things are going in their business and being open to change anything, we also had to, do that ourselves for our business. So, not only just with our org chart, but like, what are the things that we need to just take a step back and say, okay, let's just accept that that's not working, and we just need to scrap it and try something new, or change this, or, be really picky about, we're going to work with these types of businesses or these types of clients, and we're not going to work with these types over here. So we had to get super, super clear about who our target market was, the work we were going to do, the team we're going to work with. So that was good, and also very challenging, right? To take a hard look at your own business and say, hey, let's have an honest conversation about this section.
Awesome. Wow. I really like this approach of how, you have to readapt and really take a step back and think about how you can support your team as well as, ensuring that the impact that you're trying to have with your community is being achieved. I really like the approach. That's amazing. And you also had to, apply what you're sharing with other organizations as well, and applying to your business at the same time during the pandemic. So it is difficult for companies to, sometimes apply what the tips and resources that they're sharing with other organizations. Like when it happens to oh, I really need to do that. But it's great. Your approach is amazing. And needless to say, like the work that you're doing is impressive as well. So on that note, do you have any big news or announcement or wins that you would like to share with us today?
For sure. So we are launching a program. It's been in the works for over 2 years. It's been like my little like passion program that I've always wanted to throw out there. And we're finally launching it. And I'm really excited about that. We're still not quite ready for public, but it's going to be next month. And it is a program called the QBO Flight Program. And what we're doing is we're creating a program that has two parts to it. One is an LMS, so a learning management software, so a learning portal, where business owners can get some training on how to use QuickBooks Online, which is one of the accounting softwares that we use with a lot of our clients, and also some accounting 101, because a lot of clients we work with have, some of them have lots and lots of experience in finance and accounting, and some of them have very, very little. And education is a huge, huge value for us. We want to make sure that they're understanding everything that they need to know from an accounting and finance perspective so that they can understand what's happening in their business and make good decisions. And so this program is there to help kind of leapfrog that and help them with some accounting basics, budgeting, forecasting, KPI basics, those sorts of fun things. So it'll cover how to use the software, also what is accounting? What is this world of accounting all about? And then as well, we'll do a group, there's a group component to it where we actually help you set your QuickBooks Online account up. So you're ready to go. So if you are a brand new company and you just need an accounting software set up and you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, and you don't really know much about accounting, it's a perfect program for you. And then after that, if there's any kind of support that you want on an ongoing basis, you want to take on the bookkeeping, and we can support you just with work and making sure you're not making mistakes, we can do that. Or if you're like, I don't like bookkeeping, I want someone to do it for me and help me with my business growth, then we're there as well. So we've got a lot of options to support people. So that's one program I'm really excited about. And the other thing is we're also, because it has been an interesting year for a lot of businesses in the HR realm, we're offering an offer from now until the end of the year to get an HR review done. So our HR team will take a look at what you've got in place for policies and procedures for your recruitment process, for your contracts. We're not lawyers, but we can take a quick scan and see if there's anything you might want to think of from a benefits or compensation perspective, and just help you to think about maybe some other things you want to put in place so that you can not only attract the right awesome employee team, but keep your awesome team members, because it's been really, really challenging for people to keep their top talent right now, as well as to find top talent. So we've got a special offer for that as well from now until the end of the year. So if anybody's interested, feel free to reach out, and we'll tell you all about the nerdy things that we do at Entreflow.
That's awesome. Wow. First of all, congratulations on the launch. Even though you said that there has been a delay, you're still doing it in November. That's incredible. We're even getting kudos from our viewers in the chat. We have Melanie saying that's awesome. So definitely, yeah. And it seems that, you and your team have your hands full for the rest of the year with all the plans that you have set for you. Now, what is the vision for Entreflow? Like, let's say in the 5-10 years.
5-10 years. Oh, that's a really good good question. I feel like it's our vision really. I mean, our vision has always been about elevating entrepreneurship in the world. Right? So that really starts for us with youth. So making it possible for youth to understand, or like opening youth's minds to the possibilities of entrepreneurship, because a lot of people think you can start a business, it's going to be really hard, you'll fail, your life will be over, all that and gloom. But and so a lot of people don't think, that that's a possibility for them. So we do a lot of work with, high school students and university students just to talk to them about our experience, what it's like, and what it's like working with entrepreneurs, and some of the, common pitfalls and what have you, so that they can see that that's an option for them. And then as well, working within the community to support entrepreneurs as best we can. We're really, entrepreneurship, small, medium businesses are really the backbone of our economy and get the least amount of support, just from a financial perspective, from a resources perspective. So really just being campaigners for supporting the good cause. So, from a big vision perspective, I think that if in 10 years from now, We have just a lower rate of business fails. So we have those stats out there of, 50% of businesses fail. If we can bring that stat down, then we know we've done our job. And we're not out there the firm for all small businesses. We're really there to help support other people who support small businesses as well. So I do a lot of work with other accountants that own accounting firms all across the world, actually, to help them to see.
Oh, we lost the sound.
Call coming. So we do a lot of work to help other accounting firms and other types of service providers to position themselves in ways that are elevating their services for small businesses too, so that as a community of business experts, we can do what we can to help reduce that business fail number. So that's like the biggest vision thing we've ever talked about, really. If we can bring that stat down, then we've done our job. Hopefully more people starting businesses and successfully running those businesses into their life. So
that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. So with that being said, how can we as a community help support you reach that vision?
For sure. So we have a lot of clients that come to us that say, oh my gosh, where were you when we started? Why didn't we find a partner? We would have saved us X amount of time, X amount of money, X amount of whatever, had we known about you. Was exactly what we needed to start. So, I mean, my request to anybody who's willing to support us is really let people know that we exist, because we're not a typical type of accounting firm, and we're not a typical type of HR firm. And so if people are starting businesses, if they're looking to grow, we're always open to a chat. Obviously, have a free consultation. There's lots of connections we can make too, so we can send you in the right direction if you're not really ready, or if you don't have enough, you're still trying to raise cash or whatever you're doing. There's a lot of support that we can offer just in connecting you with the right people as well. So yeah, always happy to have a chat. Even if people just have a small question, hey, this thing is really stressing me out and I don't know what to do here, always happy to have a quick chat and support. So connections are the best thing for us, essentially, because we're in the business of trust, and so if if people are referring, then that helps to build the trust there, because then know that we're not some untrustworthy accounting firm.
Awesome. All right. So for our viewers, if you'd like to support Entreflow or even connect with them and learn more about what they do, you can find them at Entreflow on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook as well at Entreflow Consulting. LinkedIn is Entreflow Consulting Group, and YouTube as well at Entreflow. And you can also check their website at entreflow.com. Now, Helina, we do have a question in the chat from Melanie, which is, what kinds of HR-related things should early-stage startups ensure they have in place?
For sure. So you definitely need to have a contract in place. We can certainly support, but I always say get it reviewed by a lawyer all the time. It's a small expense compared to if there's any issues that you have to deal with in the future. You need to have contracts in place, for sure, and they should be reviewed by a lawyer. So that needs to happen. It's also really good to sit down and actually think about what your future state chart needs to look like. So what you need right now and what you need in a year or a half from now is going to change drastically. And you always want to keep in mind where you're heading, so that you're not hiring for the initial immediate need right now that might not make sense for your long-term need. I had an interesting conversation with the gent who was the founder of Nurse Next Door. And he had started a number of different businesses. I'll never forget. And I asked him, what was it that you learned, the really hard lesson that you learned in your first business that helped you to be more successful in your other businesses? Because he's gone on to start up a number of businesses since then. And he said that we have to hire people that are not for the skill set and the need right now, but for what we're going to need 6 months to a year from now. Because what would happen is they would hire people, and then the company would kind of outgrow their skills quickly as they were scaling really quickly, and they were constantly chasing their tails trying to hire up on higher level skills in order to support what the business needed. And so they would have been better off just to hire those people that the company is going to need in 6 months to a year from now, so that they were able to go through that high growth transition with much more peace, with people who had done it before, if that makes sense. So those are a couple things. You want to have that org chart in place so that you know where you're heading, and then you can hire for those roles as opposed to whatever it is that you're stressed out about right now and you think you need right now, because that can be challenging. Also, startups are not everybody's cup of tea. You often need people with more skill who can be able to handle the fast pace, the complexity, and the multiple hats that you have to wear. So you often have to pay people more, and because you need more skilled people than less. And so this idea that you can hire less expensive labor because they're just going to be excited about working in a startup, and you don't really necessarily need like high level skills. You just need some because you're in a startup phase or what have you. It doesn't really work. It's actually the complete opposite that you need for startups. So you need to hire the best skilled people sooner than later, and for where you're heading a year from now. So have that org chart in place so you can plan that, have the contract in place, and then when they get in the door, you've got to have a really good plan. So you've got to onboard them properly. What are the expectations? How do you deal with change and changing roles as that happens, and make sure you've got all the benefits and whistles that people come to expect nowadays. So a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's those things will really help you be way more effective with probably your most expensive line item in your business for the first little while. So hope that helps.
Thank you so much. Yes, and I've also seen that your Entreflow team has also added a link to your blog, aligned with what you just said to help us. So thank you so much for that. So Helina, we're almost at the end of this live. There's one question that we really like to ask before we end our live, which is, what is one thing that brings you joy right now?
Okay. So two things. A quick thing. I love accounting jokes. Like more than anybody should like accounting jokes. They make me laugh all the time. I love accounting jokes. That brings me so much joy. And secondly, on a more serious tone, what brings me just so much joy is seeing our clients hit some really incredible milestones. So, clients we've been working with for a while, they've had these big dreams to do X, Y, Z out in the world. And then getting to that point and actually seeing it come to life is just the most magical and amazing thing. And to be there and to support them in any way possible along the way to achieve that is just incredible. So that is awesome. We have a number of clients that are hitting some pretty big milestones right now, and it's just so exciting. It's just it brings me so much joy to just see their success, and also then turn around and say, okay, what's next? Enough of the celebrating. We got more milestones. Yeah. so that's that makes it all worthwhile.
Awesome. Love that. Love to hear it. And yeah, well, accounting jokes, we might need to hear one.
One that my team absolutely hates because they've heard me say it so many times. I always say, welcome to the accounting team where everybody counts.
I like it.
It's awful.
It's just so simple, but it gets to you. So love that. So Helina, again, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to really talk to you, connect with you, and really learn again what you do, what Entreflow does, and how you can help entrepreneurs, and just how we can connect with you. Again, thank you so much to our viewers as well. If you would like to connect with Helina once again, or even the Entreflow team, you can find them on Instagram and Twitter at Entreflow, Facebook Entreflow Consulting, LinkedIn Entreflow Consulting Group, YouTube Entreflow, and then their website as well at entreflow.com. And I believe that your team also added the website link in the chat. So with that being said, Helina, thank you so much once again. I hope you have a great one. And for our viewers, I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and have a lovely day. Good luck, everyone. Keep your chin up. We'll do this. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.